Okay guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be slightly different than what it normally is. I'm here today with my friend Tom Bonnet. If you follow my Instagram, you would have seen him from the Big Year Big Players. This is a page that they made. It involves three people, Sam, Ollie and Tom. They made this to just kind of get fit this year, wanted to kind of keep each other accountable to stay fit, and then they kind of brought it to the public. And it started getting a lot of attraction. That's how our paths crossed.
Absolutely.
And now we're here today to film somewhat of, you could say it's more like a podcast style, but we're just going to talk about how maybe I started fitness, how he got into what he did, which I'll let him explain in a second. And we'll just see where the conversation goes. So kind of sit back, enjoy. It might be like 30 minutes long, 40 minutes long.
We can hope.
But yeah,
So
we're going to see how it goes. So if you'd like to introduce yourself properly.
Well, okay, so I don't know where to start. My name's Tom. I am one of the Big Year Big Players, but before that, I'm a journalist. I work for a national news agency called Solent News. So we write for the national newspapers every day. So from that, you know, I've been doing that for a year, and then in January we started Big Year Big Players, which was more of a gym progress page, if you like. So myself, Sam Parks, Ollie Long, shout out to them. We made the page just to kind of get in shape and do something together, and it's got about 300 followers now. Like, that was never, like I said to you before, it was never our intention to.
Loyal followers too, like you guys come together and you need it.
Like it was never our intention to get so many followers, but we have so much fun with it, and obviously it kind of brings journalism and the gym together in a way, because I get to do like broadcast journalism almost, kind of explaining things. But the reason that I actually came to Scott for this today is because we could kind of bring the two together, gym and journalism, and kind of discuss from Scott's point of view and also from mine, like how we got to where we are and what we're doing and what we want to do going forward. So I guess we should start. Obviously, being a journalist, I seem to be apparently alright asking questions, so I guess. And
natural on camera, so maybe big things coming with him, which we'll probably get into too, but starting his own channel or something like that.
Yeah, so I guess I'll take the lead a bit now in terms of journalism. So my first question for you is, when did you first get the idea that you wanted to be going from gym every day, just working out like we do, to decide, you know, I actually want to turn this into a career and be a personal trainer? When did you have that mental shift?
Okay, I've never really said this, to be honest. So, like I said, I came from school just doing normal like PE, and I love sport, so playing football, doing sort of like not necessarily athletics, but I enjoyed doing like a little bit of sprinting. I was kind of quite quick at school, but I had the mentality of wanting to better myself, like I said, within the gym. But then I had friends come to me, and we'd sort of have a discussion of like, so what do you reckon is the best way to get bigger or get fitter? And then I'd go home and I'd research it, and regardless of the fact if it was reliable source of like information back then, but I would then speak to them and be like, well, I found this. And then over time I realised that I wanted to keep learning to the point where I took my first year of college, and I mentioned this before, but again I took a sports course. I took like a level 2 BTEC, and halfway through I realised it's not what I wanted to do. And
which is natural as well.
I realised I was like, no, I need to train people. Like, I want to learn how to train people. I want to learn really like about the body in depth. And it was halfway through my first year of college that the transition was like.
So what, 16, 17?
It was about I think I was 16 at the time, and I just went
quite young.
I was like, PT, personal training is like, that's what I wanted to do, because like yourself, and again we'll get into that, but like I just wanted to help people. So regardless if like I had some sort of context behind what I was saying, I was like, I want to help people with getting fit. And I'd always ask, well, do you want to go to the gym, let's do a session together? And then it just went to the point where I was like, I wanted to give more than just me going to the gym, if that makes sense. And that then led to doing YouTube, doing Instagram, because I was watching people who were doing YouTube, and I was like, I could do that. Like, that's something that I could do. Like, I enjoy being on camera. Like, I was the guy that secretly put his phone up in the gym so he could record himself doing an exercise. At first, that was just to see if my form was okay, and then it kind of led to the fact of like, oh, I could put that into a video, put some music over the top, you know, try and get some teaching.
So when did that change? When did you go from I want to be a personal trainer to I want to publicise this on YouTube and Instagram and everything? Also, I understand personal training, you have to market yourself, you're self-employed, but when did it then change saying actually I can project this on a regular basis, sorts of people?
Ooh, think back.
Well, how long have you been doing YouTube, I guess, is where it started?
Yeah, so I started YouTube around February 2017, and even then, I wanted it to be based around fitness, but I didn't really have the knowledge to speak about anything, and I didn't feel confident enough. So I was just making videos. If you look back, I was doing like abandoned building videos where we'd like go and look at it, and
you were young. You were supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be so forced at that age.
When I was doing that, I just knew every time I was uploading a video, this isn't me. Scott, just start doing fitness. And I think what got me to go from just filming myself form to help people out was, I think I didn't even know that this was the case, but I thought, it would help people that aren't in my local area. So like people that
expand.
but like, I didn't really understand that as in depth and how powerful that could be to, like today, which just, you know, over time you learn more. And yeah, it just kind of, I think I became like obsessed with YouTube because I was like, I want to be the people that I follow. So that's when I was like, the way I'm acting, I want people to act because of me. Like, I want to be like Scott. I want to be able to impact people like this person. And I think that's where the YouTube came. Again, I still don't, even today, I don't really still understand it as such. I'm getting better at it. But
so obviously we've grown up in a generation where we've grown up with YouTube. So obviously through this last 8 or 9 years, 10 years, we've all, you know, when we've got nothing to do, we'll either flick on the TV or we'll go on YouTube. We'll watch different people. Obviously you connect with different influencers, different people who've now made a whole career out of it. I mean, do you think that the whole personal training aspect and the combination of YouTube was because we've grown up in that society where everyone wants to be a person or a name and influence people? Is that something that you thought about? Did you think, I want to be like, I want to be an influencer because of who you watched, or was it genuinely because I want to help people with personal training? Is that something that ever crossed paths? Or?
Yeah, so you think about it over time. So, like, as people know, when you are on social media or watch people, like, people compare their lives, like their lives look so glamorous, like they're having so much fun, and it's like that's not always the case, and it's very difficult to show that, like, even if it's just like a normal lifestyle, because people still kind of think that everything's amazing.
That's what all people project.
They do. So
you've got filters.
True. And then when I started, it wasn't to say to be like a influencer as such. Obviously, I wanted to influence people, but when I was doing mine at first, it was like I just wanted to help. So like now, when people like selling programs and trying to get money from it, mine was just like I wanted to entertain people. I wanted people to come watch my videos and like laugh and like have a good time and like talk about it.
Which is the core that it should be about. It shouldn't be a business mindset. It should be, I actually enjoy this. I want other people to enjoy this as well.
And I think because at the time I didn't know about monetization, if I can pronounce it properly, but where people can now generate money through their videos. And I think with YouTube now you have to have like 10,000 subscribers plus to be able to do that. I think.
Yeah.
But even now, like I'm on 367 currently. I don't think about getting money through YouTube. I do it because I have fun and I love it. So I don't want to, again, with like your question being like, was it just to help people or just like become that sort of like big influencer? It's like I'm always going to be the person, regardless if my channel really grows or it doesn't at all. It's just to help people. Like say for example, like my YouTube doesn't go very far and it gets like, just say I stick at 10,000. That's 10,000 people that want to follow you. And you think you interact with 10,000 people and you have them in a room, that's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think people get caught up in the fact of when they start doing it, want to get 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, that's the thing. You set goals too soon.
Yeah.
Do you have goals? Where do you want to be in this time next year, for example? I mean, I know it's shorter, but going forward, I mean, personal training is something you can do for many years.
Yeah.
But obviously, where social media is always changing, YouTube might not be the main thing in 5 years' time.
No.
So,
Good shout.
so where do you think it's going to go? Do you think YouTube will continue to grow from your perspective, or do you think maybe you'll, get big doing something else? What do you think it could be?
Yeah, I just think where so many people are trying to do any industry, like fitness, music, makeup, or whatever, where so many people are doing it, I think it's getting to a point of like this. It might sound a bit cliche, but the strongest will survive.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, I want to be still doing my social media within 5 years. It's still going to be. I believe it's still going to be huge. It's still going to be big.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to catch certain ways of like what are other platforms that are also coming up
Yeah.
that you could maybe take advantage of and
2
get
years
to.
ahead rather than-
Yeah, so then like you get that exposure on that platform and kind of look into other areas of what people are doing that maybe you think that you could do better,
Yeah.
or that you don't think they're doing and you can start. And I'm even looking at my profile now and I'm just like, there's so many things I want to do that I haven't done.
Yeah.
And in regards to like goal setting, it's just, I want to get like work experience with like bigger gyms, maybe like abroad within England, and just kind of gain more knowledge about like the industry and stuff and how to work with clients and build a better client base and with my online services. But just have fun with my videos and just show people like you don't have to take life serious all the time. You can just have a job that you enjoy and be around people that are like mine, the same as you. But I say like, regardless if YouTube's gonna be big or not in 5 years, I believe that it still will. I haven't really looked at like the analytics and stuff, so I can't really comment too much on it, to be honest. But you're gonna have to start doing stuff outside the box to get noticed, and I myself have noticed like I'm still doing the videos that I want to put out but aren't getting the, what's the word I'm looking for, like attraction that I'd want. But then again, it's like I'm not getting worked up and beat up about that. It's like, okay, what can I do next time to get that traction? How can I network with people in order to get more exposure? And it go from there. And again, even if you get to that level, it's like, well, then you need to maintain it.
Yeah.
So then what can you do that other people aren't? It's always like a mental game and thinking that next step ahead, which is what I'm just trying to learn. And I mentioned this off camera actually, was the fact that I lost my train of thought. That I need to learn to keep thinking ahead of stuff to do, and I've never been good at that. So like this week or last week, as I'm trying to do as many videos as I can, and it kind of puts you in that position of like, you need to compete with these people who are better than you. They're continuously uploading a load of content, thinking outside the box, that like you need to get on that same level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and in terms of that then, there's so many voices on YouTube and on social media, and that's the hardest part, is getting that breakthrough. And obviously people, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, you can collab with people, you can use people with bigger profiles. It's all statistics and analytics, and oh, he gets more views than me, I'll use him, or etc, etc. I mean, I guess the question I have for you is, you do fitness. Obviously, at the moment, your personal training is locally based, but as you said, you want to help people around the world. I know you've got followers in different countries, but have you ever thought to yourself, maybe, do you ever want to do something slightly different to everyone else? As in, obviously no disrespect in any way, but why should people listen to your voice as opposed to other voices of people who are already established in the industry? I mean, what kind of legacy do you want to leave on social media and on YouTube and things like that?
Again, I'm just trying to think, 'cause I want to answer your questions correctly, because some of the others I feel like might not. I'm just trying to think again on the spot, because again, we've never done this before. We all used to start giving people questions. I'm not used to being put on the spot, but again,
I'll simplify the question a bit. So, what kind of legacy do you want to leave on YouTube?
So again, like you said, there's so many voices, and why should someone listen to me over somebody else? And I think at the end of the day, it's just I want to be relatable, and that's only going to be to a certain amount of like people, certain type of people.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think if you're gonna do social media, and again, this is just coming from someone that, the people that work, I'm not a big person on social media like, at all, but you just need to be yourself, and people like you for your personality.
Yeah.
So I think the only reason to say someone's going to listen to me over somebody else is because they feel like they can relate to me, they prefer my personality, how maybe I structure my videos than that person. Like we work with people that you go to YouTube, you still watch, but if they uploaded a video, you're like, oh, maybe I'll watch that later. But one person uploads a video and you're like, I'm always going to watch that.
Yeah,
like no matter what, I'm watching that first. It's like, then you think, why is it like that? Because I've just clicked with that person, like because of their personality, maybe the things they're talking about, that what he's doing in his life, her life, whatever, is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So with my legacy, what would I want to leave? Is it's just like people just wanting to find a job and wake up every single day that they love and that they just couldn't think about like not doing. They just want to work on like themselves and just be around people that just lift them up and just spread positivity and just stop listening to what other people have to say and be like their own voice. That's kind of what I want to start bringing, and like giving them knowledge about fitness and what I know myself currently, because I'm only 20 years old. So even the fact of like me sitting here trying to give advice, people are going to be turning sort of like their nose like, you're 20 years old, you've got the experience, but it's like I'm only talking about the things that I've already experienced. And again, I'm not saying I'm right, but do you know what I mean? So I think basically what I want to do with my channel is I just want to leave the impression on people that it's like, just go after your dreams. It doesn't matter if you fail, you learn from that, and again, just keep moving forward. I know it's cliche and loads of people say it, but like I feel like more people need to understand that and be aware of it, because I get so many messages like, Scott, why are you so positive all the time? Are you putting that on for the camera? And it's like, come and hang around with me. Like you just understand it's like, I'm like this because I love what I do. I generally wake up every day having a passion for it. I want to learn, but at the same time, I want to bring value to other people's lives. I would rather take less money doing a job that I enjoy, waking up every single day that like I just can't wait to get started with, than wake up every single day like, I have to go to work. Like really? And I can't live like that. So trying to be able to put that through my videos, and I guess, to be honest, I want people to say, like basically, Scott's just a positive person, he just spreads so much good energy, vibes, I want to be around him. Which again is one of the reasons why we clicked and we did it, because it's just the same thing. So again, I'm going on a bit of I'm taking a while to answer it, but...
We've opened a book there really, because
I guess.
I think when you start something like this, when you start with 0 subscribers, 0 followers, whatever it is, the only audience you're going to get at the start is the people who know you. And obviously, when you first start, the first thing you get naturally is criticism, because people, not only do they not like change, jealousy is huge, and people don't like to see other people succeeding, especially in the same friendship groups. It's always a ladder, social ladder of trying to beat other people, and dog eat dog world sort of thing. I guess my question for you is it a lonely world in terms of, because sometimes it's so difficult, because obviously with your videos it's just you, and people are going to judge you, and no matter what you do, because everyone's the same. Like you go for Instagram, sometimes you think, why have they posted that? That's just, what they're doing, like on their stories and stuff. You question what they're doing. I mean, I'm sure you've probably had the same experience I've had in my life. People have judged me for different things, and it is hard, especially when you're young. Like we still are only 20 years old. It's difficult because sometimes you have to learn. You have to understand. I have to cut this person out of my life because, like you said in your video the other day, they do just spread negative energy, and all they're going to do is judge you and criticise. Which is why some of the lads know I've blocked some people on Big EV players, because I know they're only going to do it to mock me with their friends. I don't want them to see what I'm doing, and the lads respect that. But for you, obviously, YouTube is something that anyone and everyone can look at. They can see what you're doing all the time. And you've started from 0, and to get to 360 is an accomplishment in itself, let alone to get to 1 million or 10 million. So is it difficult to sometimes ignore the voices, ignore the negative stigma that comes with it, of putting yourself out there? Yeah. Like even now, you guys watching this, like in my head, some of the questions you've already asked, I'm like, I don't think I answered that properly.
and I'm gonna watch this back and probably be like, yeah, Scott, you probably should have said that, or you didn't say that properly. That didn't really make sense. You didn't answer
That's
it
the beauty
well.
of it. It's raw.
And like, yeah, it's raw, and it's like it's showing you guys that we're humans, and yeah, it can be hard sometimes. Like I try and, like I said, spread the positivity and stuff. But yeah, you sit there sometimes and like, as much as I say to people, I don't care what you say about me, but I also care because like, if you think bad of me for whatever reason, I want to then look at myself and be like, okay, how am I acting that's kind of making you perceive me in that way? And you know, I've had people where I've done like a live stream. I mentioned this again in my video. I've done a live stream on Instagram and people were saying stuff about me, and I'm just like, look, at the end of the day, if people are saying that about you, something's going on with them. And I don't know if they're going through a bad time, whatever, but they just feel like by making you feel bad about yourself and trying to hurt your feelings makes them feel good. Like that's empowering them because they've hurt someone's feelings. And I know you've had that too with things that you've done. And I think it's just at the end of the day, if you know your direction and what you want to do, it's like people will come into your life. So when you said about is it a lonely world, I think sometimes, you know, it is, until you start building the like, I won't say team, but like friends and sort of community where it's the same thing. Like you guys have the same drive, you're motivated, and you want to lift people. You're not surrounded by people that if you succeed, they want to try and bring you down because they're jealous that you're doing well and they're not. It's like, if I was in a position where, like example I'm trying to sort out my PT stuff, and then one of my friends like gets a lot of success, and like I have someone who's doing videography and stuff, and they go around filming like this celebrity or this like sports athlete or something. Like I'd be like, mate, I am so proud of you. That's amazing. But you'll get those odd people that would be like, talk about you behind your back, or be like, mate, I don't think you should do that. Like, I think it's a bit too early. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, they're trying to knock you back. Yeah, and then you just get to a point that I have that it's like, look, at the end of the day, I'm 20 years old, and you have to get really deep about it. I feel it's like, look, one day I'm going to die, right? I'm going to die, and I don't know when that's going to be. Touch wood, that's not next week. That's not in a month's time. But if it is next month, am I happy with what I've done? And it's like, I guess in a period of a month, I'm not going to do loads. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no. So I have that mentality. That's why I want to accomplish things. But at the same time, try not to rush everything and take my time. But it's just always having that sort of outside pressure of like, it's just gonna, everything's gonna change, and I think what I'm trying to get at is just like, I put a post up on Instagram like, listen to your own voice, pretty much. Don't listen to other people's, and let them have a say in what you do. Like, it's good to listen and listen and understand people's like opinions, but at the end of the day, the only decision that matters the most and stuff is yours. So how do I deal with it, and does it, like, obviously they put me down? It does, but I've got to a point now where like it motivates me. So I'm doing it for myself, but if someone's like, Scott, you're not going to succeed, mate, what you're doing is really bad. It's like, one, you're still viewing my stuff. So somewhat, you like, maybe not like what I'm doing, but you want to see, because there's something in the back of people's heads all the time. They want to see if you succeed. And you just have to block that all out and go, and just say to yourself, I'm going to succeed. I don't care what anybody else says or their opinions of me. If you know you're being true, you're not putting out crap and trying to deceive anyone or take advantage, then you're fine. Because after a while, people will see through that. Because the one thing that I want one day when people meet me and they've watched my videos is to go, you're exactly the same person. You're not just putting on an act. Oh, you're this hyper-positive person on camera, and you're exactly the same in person. So, yeah, it can be lonely sometimes, but again, you're going to be surrounded by those people eventually, and you've got to understand that it might be a year, it might be 2, it might be 5, but we have so much time. And I think, again, going on a little bit more of a tangent, but people want to try and rush to do things really quickly to prove it to these people that are doubting them. So, and I just think you need to just be true to yourself, really.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
after a while, you block out all that.
That's the thing. Is we live in a, as I mentioned before, and you know, a lot of people talk about this. We do live in a generation where everyone, as Simon Sinek rightly says, he's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen him before.
Yeah.
The millennial
Good
question
stuff.
and stuff, really,
Yeah.
really fascinating. He says that everyone, you know, through Instagram and everything makes it look like they've got it all figured out. They understand what they're doing, but they don't. No one truly, I still believe this today, no one in this world understands what they're doing because you're going through processes the same as everybody else. Everyone starts at the same point, ends at the same point. But in terms of this then, obviously you're 20 years old, you're trying to create content, you're trying to project this positive energy. Do you feel pressure? Do you put pressure on yourself? Do you feel pressure from the outside? Like, you've got 3,000 followers. I mean, obviously not to read into that too much, but do you ever think to yourself, there's people counting on me to, you know, lift them up?
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, the pressure I feel is only put on upon myself. Because at the end of the day, I feel like if the stuff I'm doing, and if you really like it, you're just gonna follow. You're just gonna follow and interact with it. But the only pressure I put on myself is like if I say to my following, like the last 2 weeks, I wanted to put 7 videos out last week, 7 videos out again this week, and when I didn't do that, because obviously, and I'm not trying to say like an excuse or whatever, but I'm not good with technology, so I messed something up. Like some of my laptop just didn't work, and then I feel bad with myself because I put that out there. But if they're expecting, like, they're saying, I think you should do like 5 videos a week or something like that, I don't feel the pressure of like, that's what they want, I should do it. It's like, okay, what can I do right now? I can probably do like 3 or so like really high quality videos. So that's what I'm going to do. So I don't feel the pressure from the people that follow me. Well, the thing is, when you say it's like 3,000, that's still a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but you know when people have like millions and stuff, I think then you do, because as much as right now I don't listen to what people say and I don't care, but when you have so many people like that follow you, I think there is that sort of pressure, because everything that you do, I even watched a video Christian Guzman said, a fitness guy that I follow. He even said in one of like his fitness talks over dozens of videos, was like, he even goes through his day when he's filming something and was like, I think if I do that, that person's going to say this. I'm going to get hate for that if I do that. And he just said, look, at the end of the day, I'm just going to film what I want to film. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. He doesn't get that pressure. He doesn't feel really that pressure as such anymore. And I think in regards to what you're saying, I think I just feel the pressure from myself. I put it on myself. And I've always been like that. I've always been, and again, you've probably been the same within the things that you do.
Do you put that pressure on yourself because you're comparing yourself to other creators who do the same thing as you, or is it genuinely because you want to do 7 videos in 7 days, or is it my competitors are doing 7 videos a week, I need to keep up with them? Is that the pressure you're putting on yourself?
At first, yes. At first I was like, I want to compete with these people. But then when you break it down and you look at the content you're producing, you're like, I'm trying to be like these people, and it's like, I just need to be myself. What can I do right now? Because like, again, I'm judging my chapter 1 and they're like chapter 10. So for example, they've been doing YouTube for 5 years. So they're able to, I could still do 7 videos a week now, do you get me? But I'm saying like, they've worked so much within YouTube and they might have people helping them and things like that, and like what they have, and I'm in a position right now where I probably can't, pushing myself to try and do 7 videos, I'm going to neglect the other thing. But right now, the reason why I started doing, or tried to do like the 7 videos, or try and push 5, is because when I said about like the previous question about like the pressure, I put that on myself because that's how I learn. So if I'm saying, guys, I'm going to put 7 videos out a week, and I know I want them to be like videos that you learn about knowledge and stuff, it holds me accountable. Now, Scott, you've got to learn about this topic in a bit more depth than you already know to be able to help people out. And that's why I've done it, because you could call it mental stamina or whatever. It's like, and especially I want to go into doing some sort of like business and with my PT and stuff. You need to constantly think ahead, and again with my social media, and that's something I'm not always being good at. So yeah, it's gone past that level. I'm not trying to compare myself to these people anymore or trying to be like them. It's like I'm doing it to try and push myself and see what my limits are. So then by doing these 7 videos, are they at good quality? Like, are you putting some good stuff out, or do you watch that back and go, that looked rushed, like I did not put my time and effort into that? And then start working on the fact that if I take it back from 7 and do 5, and kind of work my way around making them better, then maybe I can move on to doing 6 and higher quality and then doing 7. Because you see people, and I know he has editors and the guy's huge, and one day like being on that level, amazing. But Gary Vaynerchuk, like content every single day, loads of it, because it's just like he's built up a team and like a community where people are editing all his day, and you just see he's everywhere. So it's like eventually I'd love to be able at a point where I can get a group of people together, and it's like I can keep producing loads of stuff. But yeah, I'm at a point now where when I first started I was trying to compare myself to a lot of them and try and be like them, but now it's just like focusing on what I can do and deliver something good. But with your journalism, what direction do you want to take this in now? So how long have you been doing it again for?
Well, I've actually been in the job for a year this week, but it's been a 8-9 year plan to get here. Like, it takes a long time. So obviously I kind of knew very early on when I was 10 or 11 that I wanted to go into the industry. Obviously journalism is a very broad subject and there's so many aspects. Social media now comes into journalism, I would suggest, because the amount of people that read things online as opposed to opening a newspaper, it's changing. Newspapers are on the decline, social media is going up. So it is changing all the time, so you can adapt. I've been in the industry a year, and I still don't entirely know where I want to go with it, but I know that...
What are your opinions on the industry?
Mixed, definitely mixed. But that, I think it changes a lot because it's changing all the time, so it does change. Newspapers are fantastic, and I still love the classic idea of going to the shop, buying a paper, reading the news. It's in front of you, it's great. And I know that old people love it, they don't like the whole idea of changing social media, but at the same time I still think if it's used in the wrong way, the opportunity to write, you can write about anything, you can put it in a newspaper, you can manipulate people's minds, you can manipulate people's opinions, which is what people question all the time, fake news, this, that and the other, but I think people, newspapers still are renowned for being toxic and picking on celebrities because they know it sells, and where the industry does sell those sorts of things, people want to read when people are doing badly, and I don't agree with that, because obviously, having been through difficult experiences like everyone has, the last thing you would want to see is that experience published for everyone to see, and all the inside information, that's not helping anybody, and I think sometimes you have to take a step back and think, although journalism is amazing, it's also so destructive if you use it in the wrong way. So, I don't know, I think maybe take a different route one day. Social media is always something that's interested me. I'm doing a social media marketing course at the same time.
Oh,
so,
yeah? No, I didn't know that.
Awesome. You have to know Ty Lopez.
Okay.
I'm doing one of his courses.
Oh, are you? Oh, awesome.
But that's not because I want to make a business, it's because I want to educate myself.
Okay,
But also, maybe one day I'll be able to utilise some of that stuff. Obviously with Solent, I feel like the opportunity to do their social media at some point, and they liked the idea of it, but I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't done the course. So.
Are you thinking about expanding from doing big players? Obviously, I know that's something within your friends that you're doing, and the interaction, that's great, and I think what you guys are doing is brilliant. But is there something that you want to do with social media, with your journalism by yourself? So whether that's starting to blog or do YouTube or anything? Have you got any plans in the future for that?
Well, I think one day, whether it's in 1 year or 10 years or 15, I don't know. The opportunity to do something for myself has always been in the back of my mind. I feel like right now I'm probably in the strongest position you can be in as a young journalist. I'm writing for National Press. I'm working with some of the best journalists in the business. So you'd be foolish to kind of let go of that and to not take full advantage of that knowledge that they have. But at the same time, in the future, rather than maybe moving on to another paper or to move on to one of the nationals, why can't I do something for myself and build something for myself? Whether it's just a side project or the main thing is yet to be seen, but I think there's definitely opportunities to do something for greater good rather than just for the case of selling papers and sometimes ruining people's lives. I'm not all for that.
No.
So, but with Big Year Big Players, I mean, it's changed so much since we first started it. Not necessarily in a bad way, but like I've mentioned before, the first 2 months that we did this, it was our intention was never to have an audience, and I do think, and Ollie and Sam will agree with me, there are sometimes we feel pressure, which is why I asked you this question. we feel pressure to put stuff out about it, and
Because now people are
yeah,
starting to watch
people
it.
watch what we do. Like people, not. I don't think people expect us to put stuff up, but we put pressure on ourselves. We're like,
You
we've
think
been to the
people
gym. We
expect
need to
it.
prove to people we've been to the gym and we're doing stuff. So
I know.
it's tough because I think that's the reason why we didn't want followers at the start, because we would just put pictures. I know Ollie and Sam put pictures of porridge, of raisins, and if you go back to the beginning of the page, it's still there. It's got 0 likes. Like, no one was looking at it apart from each other. And for the fact now that 300 people follow us, we're not experts. You know, we just Ollie's a footballer, but I'm a journalist, and we're not gym experts, we're not personal trainers. So,
but again, you want to show people that like
you can
do it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, obviously with this week, I announced that I want to do the Great South Run and the Boston Marathon next year. Not because look at Tommy's so amazing, but it's because I want to prove a point that I hate running with a passion, because it's so hard, in my opinion. I'm good at sports when I'm not thinking about the aspect of running. When it's just you versus your brain, it's really difficult. And obviously where I'm trying to promote mental health and awareness,
which you guys can donate to, which I'll leave a link down below if you want to.
I think it's so important to test your own mental strength, and therefore I thought, why not bring Big Year Big players and mental health together and think, what can I do to not only promote mental health, because there's so many people who won't say it but are having issues and need help and need support and need to talk, but at the same time prove a point that at the moment I can only run 3 miles. I ran 3 miles yesterday, but in next April I'm going to run 26 in front of thousands of people and raise hopefully loads of money. And it seems impossible right now, but
you can do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to prove to yourself.
It's like David Goggins.
Yeah, that's the legacy that I want to leave. Whether it's through journalism or whatever, is to prove a point that a kid from Horndean can do stuff outside the box and do something different.
I think that's what people forget, is they look at these celebrities and people that are big, but it's like, well, you all start somewhere.
Yeah.
I remember I watched stuff about David Goggins, and like it was like pest control and stuff like that, like going around killing bugs and stuff. And he just said one day, I'm done. Yeah. And then he went from being
McGregor was a plumber, wasn't he?
Yeah.
For 18 months, and then he said, I want to do UFC, and he went into
And you just think, when you find that direction, something you want to go into, you just go for it. And people get and achieve things quicker than others, but you just give it time and you go for it. Like, I can't wait to see where you get with it all, because you're going to do amazing. Yeah. And did you want to explain a little bit about like the donating, so how they can do it? So then,
well, there's a couple of things going on at the moment. So obviously, I'm running the Great South Run in October. I'm sure many other people from around our area will be as well. So obviously, I've just set up a just giving page for that. People can donate. I'm hopefully going to raise £500 for Mind, which is obviously the mental health charity. Yeah. But I'm also doing another thing on the side where I've approached, and I mean this, thousands of athletes and celebrities to kind of donate like memorabilia, like a signed shirt, signed football boots, whatever. And hopefully going to do a massive like raffle where if everyone who donates £5 to Just Giving, the Just Giving page that I've set up, they can win some of that memorabilia. So not only are you giving money to a fantastic cause, but there's an incentive to do it, because obviously you could win something. But with that, I'm hoping to raise up to £100,000 for it. And I think I'm not someone who can raise £100,000 yet. I'm hoping one day I might be in a position where I can. But rather than listen to me, listen to these people who you look up to, and be a part of something much bigger than just sports and watching your football team. Be a part of their journey and what they want to do. They want to promote mental health. I want to promote mental health. You can actually help the cause, and so I'm trying to do that at the same time. Obviously, I'm announcing it in more detail next week as more people come forward. But you'll be surprised. I mean, sometimes it's unrealistic to think that you can get on the phone to someone like a celebrity or someone with influence and think, why would they help me? I'm nobody. But from what I've learned this week is people listen, and if you have a value that you stand for, people will support that, and hopefully with their help we can raise so much money for a fantastic cause, because it's much bigger than just me and mental health. It's about people coming together. So that's what I'm trying to promote.
And I think it's great, and I think it's something that, because with mental health it's a very touchy subject for people to go into, and again, like you said, people have had their own struggles with it, but I think they don't want to talk out about it because they don't want to share about their feelings, but they just don't want to be someone who maybe seems...
It's a sign of weakness.
I
hate that so much. That this is exactly why I use sport as an example, which is why I want athletes to come forward and say it's okay not to be okay, because football, obviously, as I mentioned the other day on Big Early Players, you're in your tribe, like your football club is your tribe, and it's all about being strong. It's like you get in a difficult tackle, you get up, you abuse the opposition's players, and you still see racism in football, you still see sexism in football, and obviously the perception towards women's football. That must be really difficult for athletes to deal with, and they're expected to be tough and to not portray their emotions. I know a lot of players football players in particular, who've retired and then said they suffer with depression while they play.
Yeah.
The more people that come forward, especially people who have influence and have an audience and have a reputation for being an incredible athlete, they should be able to come out and say, you know what, I actually struggled and it was hard. And the more people that do that and actually stand up for it, stand up for saying, it's all right to cry and to show that you're in a bad place, because that's when you get the support and that's when you get better. And it will reduce suicide, it will reduce rates of depression. There's so much that can be done, and although I'm just one person, you bring people together and you can make a much bigger impact, and that's what I stand for. That's the one thing that I stand for, and I wouldn't let anything stop me from standing up for it. If people are against me, you can be against me, but I'm still going to stand for it.
I think that's great, and the fact that what you're doing to raise awareness for it is something that I myself am getting behind, and I hope a lot of other people do. And obviously it's a time thing, but I can see it going in that direction where it's going to be big. You're going to raise the money because you have the motivation, you have the dedication to make that work, but at the same time you have the sort of the skills to acquire that.
Luckily, I'm in an industry where you meet a lot of people and you have a lot of contacts, which has come in handy in the last week or so. But no, I definitely believe that if there's one thing going forward in my life that I want to stand for, I think that's my purpose. I think in the last few months I've learned that is the greatest purpose for me. It's not just to be a famous journalist or to be in front of a TV and for everyone to love me or whatever that people go into industries thinking about. I want to stand for something much greater and something charitable and something great that you can actually make a change in people's lives.
And that's where all that people know you, and not say fame so to say, but like that's where it would come from as well, because you're being real and you're being true and you're just someone that people will relate to, but it's like you're not deceiving anyone else. You're doing it because you care, you love what you do, and you want to show awareness for a great cause that a lot of people don't really want to, I don't say talk about, but like you said, they think that it's weakness, showing that they are sad, or that they think that it's like, oh, it's not that bad, or it's not that serious.
Worse. It doesn't matter who you are, anyone can have a mental health issue, and this is what frustrates me, is just because they're a footballer earning 150 grand a week doesn't mean they're happy. Like you can be a billionaire and a relative could pass away. You're not going to still be happy because you're a billionaire. You're going to be sad because that's happened, or if your relationship breaks up or something. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Money doesn't fix everything. No. Don't get me wrong. Money is so important, and obviously it keeps everyone ticking over. But there's so much more to it. And you can be genuinely happy, like you said, taking less money and doing something that you love, and actually standing for something and helping other people. That's so much more enjoyment out of that. Money is just an object, but your own brain is the most important thing.
It comes and goes, and the fact that you can have someone in front of you and you say, and them saying to you like, "You helped change my life," like because of you. They now live differently. They do things better than they did before. And like, and I've got clients that have said that to me, like, "Oh, you really helped me change my life, and I'm getting things on track." And the fact that you're a part of that, like, means a lot to me. And like, that's my paycheck. And I say this all the time. And as much as, like you said, money helps you sort of tick over and live, to be honest with you. But then it's like, what is bringing you the happiness apart from just getting by? Like, are you doing? That's why I say I want to wake up and do a job that I love, because you get that sense of like fulfillment. Like you have something to work towards. You have a purpose, and I think it's just so important that people try and get that. Like, there's the one thing as well that I find difficult with, and again, people might disagree, but again, you're able to. But when they're like, "Oh, they live for the weekend." And it's like, don't get me wrong, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, okay, great. But you should be enjoying every single day of the week. Like, I can't wait for Monday because it's a new start to the week, which allows me to, like, there's so many more things that I can do. But you have to condition your own self to be able to think like that. It's not like Monday, start of a new week. I want it to be Friday. We're going to go out. We're going to get pissed. We're going to have so much, like, great. It's good. I just think
you're not genuinely happy.
No.
You're living for the last 2 days a week and not embracing the other 5 that you have, the opportunity. And that's also where I think people go wrong. And it all kind of clubs together now that it's social media, people post things from the weekend, as you should, because you're happy and enjoying it. How often do you see the people who you follow, like your friends, post stuff when they're at work? And I think the people who post stuff when they're at work are the ones that are genuinely, well, I could be wrong, but genuinely are happy enjoying their week. And you see tweets, you see stories saying, "Oh, get me to Saturday, get me to this festival, get me to this thing." It's like, that's great to have things to look forward to. I love going out just as much as anyone else does, but are you really making the most of the opportunities you have? Like, especially with your audience and people who I know, we're still so young, and everyone portrays it, like I said earlier, they've got it all figured out, everything's sorted, but that's where mental health kind of comes into it, because everyone's putting pressure on themselves, thinking, "Oh, everyone else I know has got it. They've all got it figured out. They all know exactly what they're doing." And it's so wrong.
You don't. It's like if you say that, like, I know myself, I know what I'm doing, sort of things, like, then you've put up a, like, barrier, like, you've stopped learning about yourself and things like that. Like, don't get me wrong, you get an understanding, of, like, who you are, but you need to continuously, like, learn and develop on that. Like, even when you're at the age of, like, 30, 40, you still don't have things figured out. And again, I know people are going to look at it badly because you've got 2 20-year-olds sitting at a table trying to seem like they're...
We're just talking about our experiences, though.
Like that, but it's not. But it's like, if you have this mindset at such a young age, you don't feel like any pressure to be like, okay, well, like me, for example, I want to do my PT. It's like, I need to have this all set up business-wise in the next, like, 3 years. It's got to be slick, good. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Like, who said that has to happen? It's like, well, and that's another. Again, I can't really say this because I haven't got a business or anything, but I've seen people, businesses online and stuff, fail because of that reason, because it's like they try doing it too quickly and whatever. But I think people have to, they just enjoy every day. And look, there's probably times in your job and there's times in my job that, it gets difficult, it gets hard, but at the end of the day, like, you love it. So I think people need to start, like you said, about, like, being at work and being like, how much fun are they having? That's why when it always comes to a Monday, and I'm trying to be positive, like, guys, it's Monday, like, let's go. Like, you've got an entire week to change your life, do something completely different.
Fresh start.
Exactly.
Every 7 days you've got a fresh start, reset button.
Without a doubt. So I think that's an important thing for people to...
It's also important to be patient. Obviously, I won't quote him word for word. It might even be worth putting Simon's millennial question in the description. Not I'm going to end the description for you, but like he said, we live in an instantaneous world, and it's so true. And when I listen to it so often because he's got it spot on. If you want something on Amazon, like he said, you order it comes the next day. You can binge watch TV whenever you want. You don't have to wait to watch TV. You can go on Netflix and watch a whole season at once. But things like job satisfaction and relationships, like, you can't just build that instantly. It's something you have to work at. And when we're so used to getting things instantaneously, when we suddenly have to wait for something and build things up and it takes time, people instantly think they've got it wrong and if they fail they have to move on to something else. That's not true. Obviously, you have to take time to work out what you want to do, and it doesn't have to be seen as a negative. And that's when people put pressure on themselves. It links back to social media. It's like, everyone's got it figured out, everyone's making progress, whereas I haven't had a promotion in 2 years, or I haven't got everything figured out, and I'm now behind everyone else. That's not true. And I've been a journalist for 1 year. I still have so much to learn, and I haven't had a promotion. I'm still a reporter. Not that I'm looking for a promotion, but I understand where I'm at. And the best journalists aren't 20 years old. They're in their 40s and 50s. It takes a long time. People who are at the top of industries are older people because they've worked all the way there. Whereas they didn't grow up with Instagram looking at every other 20-year-old thinking, he's doing so well, he's doing so well, he's doing so well. And I'm still where I am. Patience does pay off, and I think that people need to understand that it's not a sign of weakness if you haven't had a promotion for 3 or 4 years.
No.
It's not weakness if you aren't sure what you're doing.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, be patient and just embrace each opportunity that comes, because, like you said, if you're not embracing the 5 days a week, you're throwing away your young age.
You have to enjoy the process.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Because people always like, they want the end stuff. So it's like they're running their business or something like that, and it's like they want the money to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, but what do you want the stuff for?
Yeah.
Like, is the stuff going to bring you happiness?
Yeah.
Or is it because you're trying to impress other people?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you need to enjoy the process of always wanting to better yourself and continue.
Yeah.
People have said to me where they're like, Scott, you've been on YouTube 2 years now and 367 subscribers. That's not the best. Like, I thought you'd have more. And it's like, well, I wasn't consistent all the time, so I wasn't getting the videos out, wasn't getting exposure. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, so there's a problem there. I wasn't getting the audience that I wanted to, and obviously the videos that I've been posting haven't been attracted to like the audience that I want. But at the same time, you then also understand how many videos are being uploaded to YouTube every single day, and who are in the same industry as you, doing the same sort of thing. It's like it can be hard, but again, it is a patience thing that people need to do. But you have to condition yourself to be like, I was never like this at all. But now it's like, and I mentioned before, I was a guy at a school for sleeping lessons, didn't want to learn, didn't want to do anything because it wasn't suited to me. I didn't have a reason to learn. Like, it wasn't valuing my life. And then now I'm in an industry where it's like, there's so much to learn. So like, I can't remember this quote exactly, but I'm going to try and say it right. It's like, when you think you know everything, you don't know anything at all. No, I'm trying to think. It's along the lines of like, when people act like they know everything, they don't know anything at all. But then when you realise you like don't know anything, or something along the lines of like, there's so much that you need to know. That makes sense. It's along the lines. I'd probably said that completely wrong, but like,
you can put it on the screen.
Yeah, I'll probably put a description that I'm trying to say, but it's like you're never gonna know everything. Yeah. But you can always keep learning more and bring more value towards people.
If you do something you love, you're going to want to learn anyway, actively. Like, you fell in love with the gym and you've utilised that and turned it into a career. Yeah. Just like I love writing and turned that into a career. Yeah. If you pursue what you actually like and enjoy, then you're going to do something you like, and your life will be better for it, rather than thinking, I need to take the job that's the most money, so I can go and do this on the weekend, or go to this festival, or go on holiday to this place. Just find something you genuinely enjoy and turn that into what you want to do the rest of your life.
And what you're good at. And like, for example, I'm a people person. I love being around people. So personal training is an ideal job for myself. Like, I love the interaction with people. And kind of going back on what you said with Simon Sinek, there's one thing that stuck with me when I listened to that talk on impact theory, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. That like, whenever he goes out with a group of his friends, I think it's like one of them take a phone, the rest leave and the rest of them leave it at home, and it's not on the table at all because they're interacting with people. But he's like, the moment your phone's on the table, it might be turned over, but you're not engaging in everything we're saying. You're still thinking of someone's going to message me or whatever. And it's like, when you know, like, okay, look, I can go with my friends, like, things are going to be okay, whatever, like, and you're just engaged in the conversation. That stuck with me. So every time I now go to speak with people, and like, even secretly in my pocket, if I'm speaking to someone, I will turn my phone on like silent or like vibrate, so like I don't hear anything go off, and I'm engaged. And I think that's definitely helped me within my job, because then I'm focused on what these people are saying. But there's so much that you can get from listening to podcasts, doing all this stuff. Like, I've got so much more of my information from that. It got to a point where like I transitioned from listening to so much music in the car to then like I'll go to work and listening to a podcast and learning and just kind of having that, just being part of like your day. I just think it's when you find something that you love and you really want to do, it doesn't feel like a chore. So like, I'm coming home and I'm technically revising, but like when people think of revising, it's like, oh, this is horrible, like, this is too much. Like, I actually want to sit here and go over like questions and things like 100 times because I want to know it.
Yeah, and that's what it is this the negative stigma that comes with things like that, like learning, like, it's associated with school, And like you said, when you were in school, you felt like you were just doing it for the sake of doing it rather than doing it for a greater good and for a purpose. And I think that's where it comes to a point of if you find the things that you really like, you're going to want to keep learning about it and you're going to want to be an expert so then you can utilise it rather than just getting a maths GCSE and never doing
Which
trigonometry
took me
again.
4 years to do, by the way.
Exactly, that's a prime example. You didn't want to, well, you could be wrong, you might want to do maths, but you're doing it for the sake of getting a grade on a piece of paper that doesn't stand for anything.
No.
Whereas your gym stuff, you might not have an A star for it in front of you, say all the work you're doing, but it actually translates into something more. And I think that's where it comes in, and that's where the changes are made, and you're happy for it. And like you said, you live for Monday because you know that you're going to the next day actually being able to impact people and doing something you really like rather than...
And with that, it's like goal setting, like going off from that, it's like the reason I look forward to Monday is because at the end of the week, I look like, what have I done well this week? What have I achieved? And what can I improve on for next week? And then keep working on my daily goals to lead up to the bigger goals that I want to like get to. So I said this in my other video, and I was being honest because I think with my content I want to be relatable. You know, I'm in debt because of my car, but I'm in a position now where I want to use my personal training to go abroad, learn new things and be around people that are better than me so I can get better at my profession, what I'm doing. But I can't do that because I'm in like all this debt and I've got this stuff going on. But in a way, everything happens for a reason. It's not like I'm glad I'm in this debt, but I can now use this as a good thing to show people, look, I'm in a position where I'm a 20-year-old guy, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to change the situation that I'm in. So it doesn't matter what situation you are in, it might be worse than somebody else, so it might take you longer to get to where you want to go, but you will still get there. You just have to keep finding ways, and life's gonna throw these curveballs at you, but then you just got to keep finding ways to go through it, and then it shows you as a person if it's like, is that goal really that important to you? Because if you love it that much, nothing's going to stop you until you do it. It might take you 10 years to get there, but you do it because you want it that badly. So that's why I've conditioned myself now and changed my actions, because like I need to get out of this debt so I can do these things. And I've mentioned in the videos, like I don't just want to pay my mum back the money that I owe her. I want to be in a position where I can give my mum all the things that she gave me. And I know, again, that's a cliche thing, so a lot of people do that. But it's like, when you grow up with people doing things for you, it's like, I remember when I was a kid and it would be like my birthday or Christmas. I couldn't wait to get all the presents. And then when it was like my sister's birthday, my brother's birthday, and they were getting all the presents, I was that green-eyed kid just like, where's mine? I want them. And now I've got older, I was like, I don't care if my mum gets me anything for my birthday or she doesn't. And it gets to my mum's birthday or her Christmas, my sister's, my brother's, I just want to keep giving to them. And then I knew as I got older, it's like,
it switches.
I want to help people. That's where I get my satisfaction from. But I just think, again, people need to think, are you happy? Like, are you genuinely happy? And if you're not, just figure out and understand why that is.
You don't have to stay in the same position. You don't have
No,
to
you don't.
Through being stuck in a rut or thinking that you're not happy.
And if people are holding you back and you're not around the right sort, you've got to cut them off. And again, like I keep referring back to other videos because it's just true, and I speak about it a lot because I know other people might be new to this and they don't know myself or don't know Tom. But like I stepped away from a friendship group that they're not bad people at all. They just didn't fit in with where I wanted to go. And I think it's hard because I was, like you mentioned again earlier, I was like, is it lonely? It's like, well, yeah, I have family, don't get me wrong, but like I didn't have like any close friends. Because when I was younger, I thought you got to have like a big group of mates, a big circle. And it's like, no, like you realise you've got to have those close people around you that value who you are and actually want to see you do well. And again, I'm so glad that Tom and I have crossed paths, we've come together, because as much as, yes, it's different industries, it's at the end of the day, it's like two driven people who want to help each other, and he can help me out and give me advice on some things that I'm doing that he might watch a video and go, oh, Scott, you could maybe do this next time or do that differently. I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's such a good idea. And then you get all the light bulbs going up and it's like, whoa, this was Tom's idea. Like we wanted to do like another video because we've done the gym one with Sam, but this was Tom's idea. Like I think we should sit down and we should like kind of give people a video that you've not really done before, but give a bit more of like a raw type feel where people see you mess up. Like the amount of times, like I said, I probably stuttered in this, I didn't answer questions properly, but I'm being real, I'm being me, and we just want to have people be like that more, I guess.
You have to break the stigma.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you just touched on it perfectly. People are so obsessed with kind of fitting in with having loads of friends
So
that
they
you
don't
don't
be bad.
Yeah, you don't want to be lonely, and that's why I asked you, is it difficult? Because you took that step. You're a prime example of someone who actually recognised, I can't do what I want to do with these particular people because they're going to judge me for it, they're going to make me feel bad for it. Take yourself out of that situation, which anyone can do. It's not just Scott that can do that, anyone can do that.
You can do it.
If you genuinely believe that the people you surround yourself with are stopping you from doing what you want to do, you can move on from that. And I think it's so important to understand that it's okay to separate yourself, and being lonely isn't always a weakness either.
No, it's not.
It's good
What
to
people need to understand.
Yeah,
It's like being in your own company is the important thing. A lot of people don't like being in their own company, so they surround themselves with a lot of other people, but they're actually fake people. If you learn and understand, but like get comfortable with being on your own, you sift through all the people.
Yeah, exactly. And the right people will fall into place anyway.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you can actually see it when people are fake with other fake people. It's like, well, you're not being yourself there.
No.
You know, everyone's guilty of it, especially when you're younger. In school, I had to do it. I had to be different to fit in because I always had different ideas. Like, I remember there was one day where I used to have a good connection with the motivational speaker because I was really into that. I was like, yeah, he's empowering people. I love that.
Yeah.
I brought his book into school. What did everyone do? They were mocking me for reading his book at lunch because I was doing something different. No one else had this book. No one else was reading about motivational empowerment and stuff. But I was reading it. And people criticised for that, and even simple things like everyone else played football, I played basketball. I was very into that in school, and I still am obviously now. But people were very quick to say, "Oh, you know, weird, like, he's the kid that plays basketball."
Look how that's switched now of how popular basketball is.
Yeah.
But
also in terms of writing, it's like while other people went to university, which is brilliant. I made that decision in my head. I don't want to go to university. Instead, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be a journalist. And even my parents were like, we think you should go to university. And I said, I genuinely believe in what I'm standing for.
Yeah.
It's a backup to go to university, but if I can make this work, I want to do this for me because I genuinely believe in it. Yeah. And it worked out, and I think that's the thing, is people are so easily manipulated by other people's opinions, which is what you touched on in your video the other day. Even your family, you can have different opinions to them. You don't have to agree with what they're saying because it's your life.
Yeah.
If like for me, I genuinely didn't want to go to university for that reason because I knew I could get into the career in another way. You don't have to try and please everyone else by going to university, and that's 3 years and a lot of debt that you don't want. And if you don't need it, then why have it? And it's so important to just not listen to people if they disagree with you. And if you want to do things that you want to do, just do it. You don't have to fall into that trap of just doing the same as everyone else.
And I literally say exactly those words. If you want to do something, you just do it.
Yeah, you don't have to hold yourself back because.
No. And
that's what I said again. Why I said about loneliness and the struggle when you do break out of the model. It's so difficult because you know that everyone else has fallen into that trap of thinking, I'm just going to do what everyone else does. I'm going to go out and I'm going to enjoy myself, which is great, and I'm all for that. Everyone loves a drink and everything and going out, but when it comes to doing something different and trying to break out of that bubble that we're in, because we are in a bubble, in a small world that we live in, you've got to try and, if you want to be different, you've got to do something different to other people.
Yeah, without doubt.
Not everyone's going to agree with it, and people are going to want to see you stumble and do badly.
And I think like that, being back at school, the reason why everyone kind of fit in, because you're with each other every day, Monday to Friday, you're going to school, and then if you're not with them at school, you might see them out the weekend, and then
you can't cut them off at that point.
Yeah, you can't, because then if you cut them off at school, I didn't do this, and if you have, then respect to you, because that's amazing. But that's when all the school playground stuff comes involved, because then you're made to be isolated on your own. You don't want to walk in the corridor because you might bump past one of them and people are going to say stuff, and you can't really get away from that because it's school. But then the reason I found it easier is when I left school is because I've got my own job, I'm doing my own stuff, I'm not in, like I said, that bubble all the time now. You step away and it's like, I don't have to be around these people if I don't want to. Like, I'm not forced to be with that. So I think not being at school made it easier for me.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
And I think that's the thing. People are still stuck in that mentality of school, thinking if I do something different, everyone's going to criticise me. You don't have to listen to anyone. You can literally delete social media if you really genuinely believed in it and do whatever you want, because then you can't hear any voices.
No.
And I think that's so important. And if you can genuinely get past that point of caring what other people think, which I jumped that barrier maybe 2 months ago. After everything happened earlier this year, I said, you know what, I don't actually care what you think about me, because I'm happy. So obviously my friends and family around me, and they're happy too because I'm happy. But the people who don't like seeing the side of me, I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
You can go do your own thing, go be happy somewhere else, doing your thing, but I don't want to be anything to do with it because I'm happy doing what I want to do.
And that's the best. People who aren't happy don't want to see other people happy. I mean, I guess we've touched on this already again, but like, it just makes me laugh, because it's like, stop worrying about what I'm doing. Worry about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you are taking the time out of your day to post something bad about me. Are you okay? Like, you're not okay because you're doing it, but like, I'm having fun, right? Just let me live my life. This is what I want to do. If you don't agree with it, don't watch. And you're always going to have it. And like you said 2 months ago, you got past that mental barrier of like, I don't care. I think I got past that round about when I sort of split up with, from the friendship group, but like, to the point, I even think I just got past it, I'd say about 12 weeks ago now. So when I first started...
Maybe a similar time to me then.
I think so, yeah. So when, it was basically beginning of this year, because like, we'd both gone through something similar, and it made me realise, I was like, I want to focus on me. Like, I didn't really care what others said, but it just got to the point of like, I'm now doing what I want to do. I generally can't hear anybody else. Like, I even spoke to someone the other day and they went, well, yeah, I stick up for you because all these other people say something bad about you. I was like, thank you, but you don't need to. I don't care. It's like, let them say something bad, because they're still watching my stuff. So you're still giving me some views.
My mum used to say this to me when I used to get criticism, which it does happen. People are always going to say stuff behind your back. It does happen. But I remember in school specifically, when I went down that journalism route, motivational stuff, I was all for that, listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, Simon Sinek, obviously impact theory. My mum used to say, let them laugh now, but just we'll see where they are in 10 years. And when they turn on BBC News and see your face, what are they going to think, And although it sounds arrogant, but it rings true.
But you need to have that, because if you don't, and we mentioned this before, like, people look at a little bit of confidence as like, he's cocky, he's really up himself, and it's like, no, you need that to be able to drive to go in that direction.
You have to have confidence and believe in your own abilities. If you're actually going to do anything that's going to break the mold and do something different and find your passions, you have to believe in yourself, otherwise no one else is going to do it.
No one's going to do it at all. And that's why I say, like, you need to set these goals, you need to do these other things, because it's like, you do have competition with other people, so like, within like the industry that you're doing, but at the same time it's like just being true to who you are, but just have fun with it. That's what I mean, like, just don't care what other people... I've had this so many times, and when you come to doing your videos, I don't know how you're going to structure them, if you want to do like the vlogging style out in public or whatever, but like, I've been doing it, and I do it in the gym, and it's like the amount of people that look at me funny, they've commented while I'm recording, they've spoken to me after, and I think, man, I think that's so weird that you're doing that. Why are you talking to a camera? And it's like, what you don't understand is it's like, people are listening to what I'm saying, they actually like it. So it's like, and you find actually sometimes these people who don't understand then go to your profiles on different social media platforms and actually start following you because they like what you're doing. They just didn't understand it, and when they kind of see it actually put like together, they're like, wow, that's so cool. Like, the amount of times where I've put my camera down to get an angle, I've walked off and walked back to come and get it, they're like, why'd you just put your phone down? I'm like, I've actually been like, oh, I do YouTube and stuff, here's my name, search it, and like tomorrow this video will be up and you'll kind of see what I've done. And then they've actually messaged me and been like, that actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
that's what it's about. And YouTube is a prime example. Everyone else is in the gym, working out, and if you want to do something, like that on YouTube, you have to be able to, put the embarrassment, if there is any embarrassment, to one side and think, actually, I'm going to do this because I care about it, and people are going to give you funny looks regardless, and you just have to get past that, and that's where the confidence comes in. It's like, you might not believe in what I'm doing, but I do, and that's all that matters, and your opinion isn't going to stop me from putting my phone down and working out and filming that. So that's
I think I've actually become that guy in the gym now that people look at, that's the guy that films.
Yeah.
And they actually get annoyed at me because it's like every single workout, and bear in mind being a PT and I'm trying to get stuff for you, but I'm in there majority of the time. I see the same people that it gets to the point where I feel like I put my camera up and they actually walk around me and I see the look on their face and it's like, gotta walk around him again.
Yeah.
And again, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I really, like, to the point, like, I love what I do so much. Like, previous videos, like, I had the phone down, like, near my leg, be like, yeah guys, so I'm just currently going into that shop or something, because I didn't want to hold it up here because it was more visible to people.
Yeah.
Because I cared too much.
Value their opinions more than your own, exactly.
And it was then putting myself in uncomfortable situations because I knew that I was going to grow.
Yeah.
That then if my channel, my page on Instagram, whatever, is going to be fitness, I need to be comfortable by doing it in the gym. Because if I'm not, then I'm not really going to be promoting like what I stand for.
Yeah.
And it isn't easy. But then the amount of people I've had that have gone, mate, when you first started doing your stuff, we would watch it, be in a group of mates, and we'd absolutely rip it out of you. We'd take the mic, we'd put it in group chats, and we'd laugh about it. I'm like, mate, thank you. They're like, what? I'm like, you're giving me the exposure, you guys are watching my stuff. And I even had someone, it was like around Christmas time, we were at the pub, and he came up to me and was like, look mate, I'm not gonna lie, I was a person at first that absolutely took the piss out of you. I just thought it was hilarious, but it's because I was with a group of my mates. When I was on my own, I kind of said to myself, I respect what he's doing, you kind of helped me want to push music a bit more, push my acting. And I was like, that's why I do what I do, because you don't actually have to tell me I've changed something within you. It's just if I could actually get you to think a certain way, do something differently, that's going to benefit you, then amazing. I just found it nice that like he could actually admit the fact that
I was a person willing to admit that although you might have taken the mick out of you in the past, they agree with what you stand for, and it's pushed them, and it's pushed me, watching you, it pushed me to take that stand in terms of, right, what do I actually want to do, what do I want to develop, which is what obviously the things we were discussing off camera, different things that I've potentially got planned and stuff like that.
Which are great, by the way, and you guys will see them in time.
So yeah,
I was just excited to see how it all goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think we're gonna end it here.
Nap, I think.
Yeah.
Look at that, 1 hour and 12 minutes.
Is that what it actually says?
Yeah.
No way.
So we originally planned for this to be about half an hour.
Half an hour, 40 minutes.
It's well over double that. Nearly
That's
50.
crazy. And again, I hope that if you guys have stayed to the end of this and have watched, then give it a thumbs up, put in the comment section saying like, I watched it to the end or something along the lines, just to see like sort of the engagement and how you guys found it. Also leave in the comment sections if there's anything that you'd like us to maybe cover again.
We can do this again.
Yeah, because
talk for England.
Yeah, and I hope that you took something away from it. Please go and check out Tom. I'm going to leave his personal like Instagram down below. I'm going to leave Big Year Big Players down below. The stuff that he's donating, the charity stuff that he's doing, and yeah, please go and show him the support. He deserves it. He's going to go really, really far. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm going to start doing a load of podcasts or anything, but I think it's a different area that I don't really know. I've watched a lot about and think that it'd be good for me to maybe like get into one day. But again, we'll cover something down the line and you're going to see a lot of him, especially on this channel, because friendship is going to start being built. So
absolutely.
Leave a thumbs up and we'll see you guys very soon.
Cheers guys.
Man, that's good.
That was amazing.
Shit, that flew.